Hey everyone, today I'm reviewing a Give Yourself Goosebumps book, Night in Werewolf Woods. Now, before I get into the review, this is actually going to be part of a series of reviews I'll be doing in collaboration with a couple of my good friends and fellow YouTubers, Michael Goosebumps Fan and Goosebumps Completionist. So basically, what we're going to be doing is this werewolf review-a-thon. This is an idea that Goosebumps Completionist had where we go through, read, and review all of the werewolf-themed Goosebumps books. So, yeah, over the next few weeks or so, however long this goes on for, you're going to be seeing some more werewolf reviews from me. And at the end of all of this, we're going to do ranking videos. So we're going to rank all of the werewolf-themed Goosebumps books that we review, along with some other books. Our lists are a little bit different. They have some books on their lists that I don't have, and I'm going to be doing a couple on my list that they don't have. But yeah, this is just a cool idea, something that he come up with, and I just thought it would be fun to join in on the action. So yeah, we're just going to be going through reviewing all of these books and then doing the ranking at the end. I'm going to put links to Goosebumps Completionist and Michael Goosebumps Fans channels down in the description, so if you haven't yet, go check them out. They're good friends of mine. They do really good content. They cover in depth a lot of Goosebumps books and the TV episodes and everything. So go check them out if you haven't yet. But yeah, at the end of it, we're just going to be doing a ranking. I'm not going to do individual reviews for all of the books that are going to be on my list, just because there's quite a few of them and I don't really have the time to do every single one. And also some of them are ones I've already done recently and kind of covered, such as the 2 werewolf books from Series 2000. So I won't be doing individual reviews for those books. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to do reviews for at least about half the list, roughly. So yeah, anyways, that's what we're doing. That's what this video is part of, is this werewolf review-a-thon. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about this book, Night in Werewolf Woods. This is the first book I read for this review-a-thon we're doing. So this is the first Give Yourself Goosebumps book I've read in a long time. Now, when I was younger, this series was always my favorite. I loved reading these books, discovering all the different endings. For those of you watching who maybe don't know, these are basically choose your own adventure type books. There's multiple different endings, over 20. Give Yourself Goosebumps books range from having anywhere from 20 to, I want to say, 24, maybe 25 different endings. And most of the endings are not good. You're like the main character in these books, and you'll get stuck in certain situations, or you even die sometimes, or most of the endings are bad, and you're kind of, one of your goals is to try to find one of those few good endings. Some of them only have one good ending. Some of them have a few different good endings. But yeah, anyways, the way I go about reading these books is I like to read through the first couple of times with no bookmarks or anything, just going through and read it, making decisions based on what I would do or what I think will lead to a satisfying conclusion. And then after I do that a couple of times, then I'll go through with a stack of bookmarks and just discover all the different possible endings. I'll just go through and go on all the paths that I haven't taken yet and try to find that good ending and just discover all the little different areas and directions the story goes. So yeah, that's kind of how I've always read these Give Yourself Goosebumps books. The first couple read-throughs, I just read it as is and take whatever path I feel like I want to take, and just try to make decisions, I guess, based on what I think will keep myself alive or what I would do in that situation, things like that. And yeah, so that's what I did here. And this story, most Give Yourself Goosebumps books have 2 main storylines, and this one does as well. But the main goal of this one is, or the main story, I guess, is you have this friend who has this pewter figure collection. He's kind of a nerdy character. I think he's a little bit younger, like 10 or something. And there's these 2 bullies that steal his pewter box full of these pewter action figures or whatever, and they go out and hide it in the woods. And you guys are like on vacation at like this cabin and this woods or whatever, and your goal is to try to help him find his pewter box collection. So that's kind of the main story of this one. And that kind of weaves itself into both plot lines of this book. Again, most of these books have two main storylines that you can take that split up usually at the very beginning of the book, depending on the first choice you make. And that story kind of weaves its way into both plot lines. You're basically trying to find this pewter box collection. It's kind of a weird way to start this book, kind of a weird storyline. I wasn't really buying it all that much or getting into it, but I just decided to go along with it and see how the rest of the book was. And the first decision I made, the first plot line of this book that I got into and discovered all the endings for, has to do with trolls, or a troll. This is when things get weird. You're basically, you come across this troll who has magic powers and everything, and he's trying to make you and your friends his slave. And you basically spend the rest of this plot line trying to run away from this troll, trying to survive. He does this weird thing where he whistles really loud, and if he does this, he can take control of you and make you do weird things, and he like puts you in this trance. So you're basically just running and trying to survive and like fighting against this troll. And at one point there's multiple of these little trolls running around, and it's very weird. And I gotta be honest, I did not care for this at all. Yeah, that's basically one of the plot lines. There's a little bit more going on than that, but that's essentially there's what you're doing. There's really not much werewolf stuff going on with that storyline of the book. If you choose the other direction in the beginning and take the other storyline, that's where the werewolves come into play. Again, you're kind of looking for his pewter box collection hidden in the woods, but this time, instead of running from trolls, you're actually running from werewolves. Unfortunately, it's a little bit boring. You're pretty much just running from all of these different werewolves, and the choices you make are kind of boring. It's pretty much, do you want to run right or left? Do you want to run in the woods, in the cave? Like, a lot of the decisions you make are just kind of boring. There's not a lot of thought or creativity behind them. And yeah, I don't know. I really could not get into this book. Now, I remember being really excited to read this one when I was younger and being kind of disappointed with it. But again, it's been a long time since I've read these, including this one, so I didn't remember anything about it other than that. And I have to say that I can see why I was disappointed with this one when I was younger, and I still am. Again, I love werewolves, my favorite monster, and I was hoping that this one would be really good, but to be honest, it's not, at least in my opinion. I did not care for this book much at all, either storyline, to be honest. The werewolf one was a little bit better, but it still really wasn't all that special. A lot of Give Yourself Goosebumps books have a certain objective or a goal or something you're trying to achieve, on usually like a stronger setup in the very beginning of what you're doing exactly as a character in the story. And this one just kind of has a weak setup, in my opinion. You're going out in the woods trying to help your nerdy little kid friend or whatever he is, trying to find his action figures that these bullies hid in the woods. And then from there, you're just running from either trolls or werewolves with not really a whole lot else going on. And there's just a lot of boring choices, in my opinion, that, yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not a big fan of this book. Again, it's been a long time since I've read any book from the Give Yourself Goosebumps series, but I think this might be one of my least favorites of the whole series, at least from what I remember and as of right now. Another thing I didn't like about this book is a lot of the endings were kind of boring and repetitive. There's actually one ending in here, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but there is one ending in here that is repeated at least 3 times that I counted. Not the exact same ending, but it's pretty close. It's basically the same ending that's used 3 times. And usually with these books, that's one of the fun things about these books, is discovering all the different possible endings. Even if you do get a bad ending, there's still a lot of fun reading it. There's usually a lot of humor behind it, or comedy. But here, I just wasn't getting that much enjoyment out of it. And when I kept reading the same ending over again, I'm just like, what the heck? Like, it just feels like lazy writing to me. So yeah, I really don't have a lot of good things to say about this book, to be honest. I am just really disappointed with it. Did not have that much fun with it. I don't think it's completely terrible. Like, if this were the only Give Yourself Goosebumps book to have ever been released, I would probably love this book. But seeing as how some of the other Give Yourself books are amazing and just so much more creative with a lot more stuff going on, more solid storylines, more variety to the endings, this one just really pales in comparison to those other ones. And again, I'm going a lot by memory. I know I've already mentioned this, but it's been a while since I've read some of these, or a lot of them. But yeah, I just did not care for this book, guys. I really did not like it that much. So I'm just going to rate this one on a 5-star basis. I'm going to give this book a 2 out of 5 stars. And I'm giving it a 2 because, again, it's not completely horrible, but in comparison to a lot of the other Give Yourself Goosebumps book, it kind of sucks. So yeah, that's my review for Night in Werewolf Woods. Not a bad book. Maybe a good starting one if you're just looking to check out Give Yourself Goosebumps books. But it's not one I would personally recommend, and it's towards the bottom of my list if I were to do like a ranking of Give Yourself Goosebumps book. Again, going off memory for a lot of the other ones, but this one just does not hold up in my opinion. So yeah. Anyways, guys, this is my first review for this werewolf review-a-thon we're doing. Keep on the lookout for more werewolf videos in the near future. And yeah, I'm excited to do this. Thanks again, Goosebumps Completionist, for coming up with this idea and having me and Michael join you with this review-a-thon that we're doing. I think it's a really cool, fun idea. So yeah, guys, that's about it. Have a great day.